minute, you'll be able to see just what we see in long-term value with making this big shift that we're making. So, talk a little bit about the future of flow, generative AI, business process mining, which hits on a little bit of telemetry, and then also the integration with the marketplace. Johan emphasized our strategic themes yesterday, and I think he did it quite well, talking a little bit how these are not just mere slogans to us. These are really pillars of our aspirations, if you would. I think in general, it's what we're trying to achieve with the platform over time. I think we embed these in our vision as we look towards the future, and the features that I show you here in just a few minutes will showcase a good chunk of these capabilities. So just a quick show of hands, how many people have heard of generative AI at this point? Very nice, actually quite a few. For those who haven't, who's heard of ChatGPT? Larger group of hands. So, generative AI really just refers to artificial intelligence, using it to create things. So there's many different ways which you can go about this. Our vision of how we would use this within the product in the future is to build apps. Imagine talking to a chatbot in natural language and developing applications, moving away from being a technical developer and bringing that capability to the business. This can be done actually today with natural language. We've explored these capabilities in FlowScript already, and as we move into this multi-tenant design time, things like this become a reality. So you might have a user, for example, wanting to create a new application. Instead of walking through the process that you saw with Andreas, you might be able to just open up a new chat. In that chat, you might say something like, I want a travel and expense app. And once you do that, we can automatically bring in a preview of those applications based on not only the model that we train, but also the repository of data that exists for us. And you might go into that and actually preview the application. There could be some changes you want based on this. Maybe you need to add a new entity into your list selection. Instead of adding that to the data model in Studio, you might just chat back and forth and ask the chatbot to do it. Quickly add edit expense report to my list selection, and it's already done for you. From here, you might be able to commit this, and let's say that you're going through your next set of changes. I forgot a connector step. I don't know how to connect to IFS. I don't know how to connect to Infor. I don't know what API I'm supposed to use to get information like customers. You can just ask a chatbot, right? Now look, these chatbots are not perfect. They always take some data massaging, but you could ask it to go add a step before the choose expense and suggest 10 of the most common expense categories. That could immediately go out to IFS, write you a new machine step based on the APIs required for IFS. All of this would be built on models that we currently have within a back-end repository of all the flows that we have in this multi-tenant design time. Call it a community, if you would, of development. Not only do we want to see generative AI, we believe that collaboration in development is key. We think that if you can collaborate, you can develop quicker. There's a tremendous amount of benefits in increased productivity, faster development time, improved quality, and reduced risk. For those who develop today, I'm sure you're pair programming to some degree, right? I often develop, and I'll go to people like Ola, who's a better experienced developer than I, and ask questions. It happens for all of us. What if we could bring that experience into Studio? What if we could allow two people, apologies. What if we could allow multiple people in an application at once where they could chat with each other? What if they could make changes to the same flow without having to be locked out of the app together? I could work on the first half of the flow and my counterpart could work on the second half of the flow. We could increase the time to develop. These are apparent in most tools that people use on the web today, if you've recognized it, right? Miro, We now have Excel who uses Microsoft, right? Everyone can see where someone's at within an Excel sheet or a Word document at this point in time. But you really have to get to these cloud-based infrastructures to be able to provide capabilities like this. I can see and highlight where Kevin is within the application itself. And one of the nice new features that we really believe will add a tremendous amount of value is called business process mining. So we talk a little bit about telemetry, and telemetry really is not just graphs and information. It's you being able to provide data analytics on application executions, right? So Oldens, you guys did a really nice job showing how you were doing telemetry for a machine step execution. You were showing when the machine step started and when it ended and the difference between the times of those. Same can be done for an entire workflow. Let's say a user wants to present telemetry within their studio. They want to see how often a path is taken within their flow. Are most users going down path A or path B? We can present that with telemetry data. From this route, you can say 88% of the people have taken path A. But maybe just as important, you might want to come in here and see how much time is being spent on my steps. Am I spending more time on step A or step B? In which path is taking me the longest time to communicate? How can I optimize this workflow to be better for my users? What if we can combine all this data with AI? What if you could chat back and forth and ask a question like, how can I optimize this flow? And the chatbot comes back and tells you. It could tell you to take a look at the 125-second step, because most users are spending most time on that step. Maybe you should get rid of a few elements within that step. Maybe you can automate the default values. We could have AI give us these type of inferences. I know it sounds far-fetched, but it's really not that far-fetched. For those who have used ChatGPT today, I'm sure you've been amazed at what it can come up with in responses. We also believe that the marketplace is the future of flow. Having a quick way to integrate the marketplace is key. Today, it is decentralized from the studio. We believe that in the future, we will bring this together. A user could go into Studio, and let's say they wanted to pick from a library of components that existed in the marketplace. They should easily be able to search in Studio directly for the warehouse management applications that already exist on the marketplace. They could be able to find the one that they're most interested in and bring it directly into Studio. When we think of components, we do think of this almost composable architecture. Components being a small fragment or a piece that help you develop quicker. So instead of it being an entire application, maybe you just want a piece of an application, and that helps you build faster to get to your end result. Maybe you want to make some edits here. You can quickly do that. We do not own over the information that you pulled from the marketplace. So what that means is that you can make edits to those workflows. You don't have to keep them. They don't need to be locked down. We can also provide helpful hints, maybe things that should be updated within those. You might want to be able to change a variable that's been hard-coded for our use case. Customers might upload this stuff, partners might upload it. You want to be able to provide helpful hints to users. And we also want to be able to provide the way to upload these components. So from Studio, I should be able to highlight pieces of my workflow and quickly publish that to the marketplace, having a community of developers. That might require you to give it some description, enter the variables that need to be input and output, and ultimately share that into the marketplace for your organization. I mean, these are only just a few of the items that we can provide when you think about the multi-tenant design time. There's really a world of possibilities. These are the ideas we have internally. I think every single one of these product management meetings that you've gone to with the product owners, we've all talked about user voice. I think some of the best ideas and innovation come from our customers and partners. So I suggest that if any of this sparks some interest, if you think it is something that is intriguing, or if you have other ideas on how to use it within our application, we want to hear those things. Please put them on user voice. So let's talk about the timeline. We mentioned a lot of features, a lot of functionality, not only on Connect, but in this next generation future of Flow. And I think the timeline becomes really important. So some of the items that have been announced in these presentations is that we will be releasing a new portal 2023.3 in September of this year. That's going to include some new UI enhancements that you'll see. It does exist on the Flow 6 track. The integration engine is about October at this point in time. We're planning to release what Andrea showed in the integration engine this year, approximately in October. That'll include triggers, queues, monitoring, and again on the Flow 6 track. Then we'll have a release of 6.15 in October. Mullen did a really nice job walking through the features that would exist here. You talk about the scan event steps, auto forward, and more. So if you weren't able to watch that presentation, I suggest once we post the recording, you do. It will be released in October. Again, Flow 6 track. Then we get into Flow Connect. Right now, we are working through our MVP of Flow Connect. The MVP for us internally means that we will run ourselves on Flip. So for those customers and partners who don't know, we do utilize IFS and we do utilize Flow ourselves. The goal is for us to run on Flip before we bring it to the market. So we will run Connect for our own applications. That goal is set for about Q4 this year. And then we'll start to bring on some beta customers and beta partners. We do plan for that to be somewhere in Q1 of 2024. What we want to see there is getting an Infor M3 and an IFS customer or partner on board to help us make sure that we haven't missed some scenarios. We want to make sure that when we deliver this to market, it is fully fledged and ready to roll. But not too far off, we have a 2024.1 release. Our plan right now is to release at the end of Q1. Most of the features that you've seen today in Flow Connect, that is, I know we're showing it in recordings, that is a live demo. It is available and ready to go. We are looking to try to release it to market in Q1 with the feature set that we have. The goal here is to be able to run applications, which we would call workflows, and portals. So it would exclude things like machine workflows, and it would exclude integration capabilities in the Connect track just yet. But what you'll see in the next one of these is when we plan to incorporate those features. Please note that off to the right, we will have a 6.16 release also of Flow 6. So that'll include more capabilities wrapped around integration and other items that we hear from you on user voice. 2024.2 here, that is going to be the second release where we plan to include offline and integrations in Flow Connect. The plan would be to support offline clients, but also allow some of the integration framework items to be included. And in 2025 Q1, we are looking to support an on-premise runtime. So for the customers out there who have rigs that need to be able to connect offline, we do want to execute that in about 2025 Q1 as a release. And then after that, we start to explore some of the nice functionality I'm showing here. We'll start to bring in some of the new capabilities that the multi-tenant design time provides us. And moving forward, what you would expect from us in Novacura is a 6-month release cadence. So you'll see every 6 months new features being pushed out and marketed on the Flow Connect platform. One last item that I want to bring up for everyone here is that we have a now public-facing roadmap. Something we haven't had in quite some time. You know, we believe a public-facing roadmap, it really signifies our commitment to like trust and transparency with our customers and partners. We want you to know what we're working on and when we're working on it. If you have not been on our help files yet, you'll note that there is a new tab over there called Roadmap. There are links to these roadmaps directly in our help files. Please take a look, and we look forward to your feedback. Last but not least, I say it one more time, user voice, right? You've heard it 100 times. I really mean it. We are looking at this thing daily. Please put ideas in there. We would love to hear your feedback. Thank you very much.